Hi, you're watching the Session Talk Show on CamVision 365.
Please listen carefully.
Welcome back to the Session Talk Show. I'm your host, Kai Sampson, and we are joined with none other producer over 87 shows. Is that correct?
Done a few.
Yeah. We have a long list. 87 productions, named 2023 Best Director of Houston Press. Mm-hmm. She's the artistic director of the Ensemble Theater and the director of the upcoming play Chicken and Biscuits. Please welcome Eileen J. Morris.
Hey guys, thank you. My blessings. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So we'll just jump right into it.
Sure.
Give us a little bit about your backstory.
My name is Eileen Maria Teresa Johnson Morris. Okay. I was raised Catholic. So that's the confirmation name and all of that added in there. I was raised in Chicago, Illinois. My mom and dad are from Houston. And so Houston was always like a second home. So we would always come to Houston to visit my grandparents and cousins. And after I graduated from college, got married, my degree was in theater. But before that, let me fast forward how I got into theater. I went to Catholic schools, and there was a play called Snow White that my school was getting ready to do. And I thought, I think I could do this. Let me audition for this. At that time, I was still trying to figure out, because I was in middle school, what I wanted to do with what I thought I might want to do in the world. And my teacher, Sister Timothy, said I couldn't audition. So I was like, oh, okay, why not? She said, well, do you really think you could be Snow White?
Oh, wow.
And I went, whoa, wait a minute. You mean I can't? Why can't I? And so then she could never say why, right? Because that would be too much. So, of course, being the child of Imelda Benson and James Johnson, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to audition.
Right.
So I auditioned for the play and got the role. And from that point on, everything that I did, I think it was always like a struggle, a fight, or making sure that my voice could be heard.
Right.
Because there were stories that were meant to be told by African Americans, and I wanted to make sure that I was a part of it. For sure. And then moved to Houston, graduated, got a degree in theater arts, moved to Houston, and started working with the founder of the Ensemble Theater, Mr. George Hawkins, which is such a blessing to be able to have sit at his feet and learn from him. He was a graduate of Prairie View A&M University, HBCU, and then he founded the space at 3535 Main Street in 1985. And I've been working with him. I was working with him ever since. He passed in 1990. I took over as artistic director and have been there on and off a 7-year stint that I was gone, but pretty much been at the theater since then.
So rumor has it that you want to be a nun first.
I skipped over that part. Did you see?
And then since then, you've been so motivated by haters, that you just became acting and just try out for every role.
I did. Absolutely. I did want to be a nun because I was influenced by, Catholicism, the Catholic faith, because I went to Catholic schools all my life. But then I just realized that they always say that in 5th grade, your hormones start kicking in. I started wearing glasses. I was like, I don't think being a nun is not for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because they get none. Oh, so that was my initial thought.
We got there. They're definitely getting some kind of.
They getting something. No,
but that's their business.
Yeah. That is. Well, and God is God is there for all of us. And then whatever it is that they felt that was the path and career that they wanted. Of course, at that time, I was young. I didn't know any better. And then I just realized that it wasn't for me. I was able to do my ministry in another way, which is through theater.
Through theater.
And that's exactly what I've been able to do.
That leads me to my question. How did you get started at the Ensemble Theater?
I just decided, I volunteered.
Just volunteered?
I decided to volunteer with the theater. I had heard about the ensemble. Mr. Hawkins was paving the way and trying to get involved, get the community involved. And I said, I'm going to go volunteer. And so I told him, I said, hey, I can, I'm here. I'll do whatever you need me to do. He put a broom in my hand and told me to sweep the floor and, the next auditions will be coming up in the next couple of weeks.
How was it working with him, by the way?
Absolutely fabulous. He was a very smart man. He was an accountant he had left his job as an accountant at Tennecourt Oil Company. And he took his retirement money that he had and he actually founded the Ensemble Theater.
Oh, really?
So he believed in sacrifice. He believed in community engagement. He believed in doing something to make an impact on the world. And that to me is important. And it was a part of what I had been raised with, community building, making an impact, following your dream. And that's what he did.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we have so many questions to ask you, and I think we're going to come back and get more information about everyone's favorite chicken and biscuits, right? I'm hungry. I hope you guys are hungry. We'll be right back with the Session Talk Show.
Hi, I'm Dina from Eyelashes by Dina, and you watching the Session Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Session Talk Show. I am Rose, and this lovely lady
is Takia.
So we are the Session Talk Show. So we are here with the greatest, the best, Eileen J. Morris with the ensemble. So your founder, George Hawkins, found the ensemble back in 1980-ish.
76.
76?
Yes, ma'am.
That's way back.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
the ensemble was there for the artistic creative movement for Blacks.
That's right.
Is that right?
Absolutely. It was the Black Arts Movement. Yes, ma'am.
So tell me more about that.
Well, during that time in the 60s and 70s, there were a lot of institutions that were, or artists that felt like they didn't have a creative place to do their work, to share their stories, to make sure that Black and brown people were in the room, and that that the dynamic of how they were presenting themselves was universal. But it wasn't universal for us.
Yes.
Because those stories weren't being told about and by and for us, as W.E.B. Du Bois says. So Mr. Hawkins, like many others, they founded different institutions, and the Ensemble Theater was one of those institutions where he founded the theater so that he could provide a place where we creatively could tell our stories and could have a place where we could grow as artists and as individuals.
So now you are the artistic director.
I am, yes.
And then what's your mission, I'm assuming, is this to then carry the legacy?
Absolutely. The legacy is hugely important because of the fact that even today, with, just several years ago, we had the Black Lives Matter movement, and that still goes on, unfortunately, today. And we want to make sure that stories told by us as Black people are able to be, represented. I'll give you a story. We did a play called Cinderella.
Okay.
On the cover of the playbill, there was a picture of the girl that was playing Cinderella. Her name was T.K. Ferguson at the time. She was playing. She had on her ball gown. She had on her tiara. And all these young girls would be coming to see the play. And they would be dressed up, little dress. They looked so cute. Parents were bringing them. And the little girl looked at the playbill and she went, "Ooh, Mommy, she looks like me."
So she could identify.
She could definitely identify, and that's the reason that, part of the reason why the Ensemble Theater exists.
It's to inspire.
To inspire, to encourage, to empower.
That's right. That's right.
Human beings.
So you've been some ups and downs in your life.
Oh, yeah.
So divorce is one of
Yes,
being married for a very long time.
Yes, ma'am.
You left the ensemble and then you came back.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
How did you go through that? I mean, you said that you spent some time on knowing yourself, self-love, self-care. How is that important to where you're at now?
I think that as I mature, I realize how much self-care and self-healing is important. During the time that I went through a divorce after 21 years of marriage, I left, I was away from the Ensemble Theater after having been with that theater for almost 20 years. And then I went to Pittsburgh, and it was there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I always tell people that, it's just like God dropped like little raindrops on me to wash away all the stuff that I had been through, because I was able to go through a healing process. And that healing process allowed me to be able to love myself more, to learn more about myself as a Black woman, to be encouraged and to affirm myself as an African American in the world and what that all meant. So I think I really became into my own self, into my creative self more. I was inspired more by the work that I saw women and Black people doing in Pittsburgh, and I was able to come back to the Ensemble Theater in 2004 and bring those, that new mindset so to speak, to the ensemble.
How long was that journey? Being that
7 years.
7 years.
Mm-hmm.
7
Yes,
years.
ma'am. And I think the journey continues, right?
Of course,
Because we all are still,
growing.
you know, growing and evolving and empowering ourselves. And, you know, you're passionate about something. I'm passionate about theater. And so, as I said, that's my ministry. But the thing is, it's a constant growth. It's an evolution. And I love that because I'm always experiencing, I always have new experiences as a result of that.
So there are many shows and productions that's going to be on the ensemble.
Oh, man.
And I'm so excited for a lot of them. But then now let's talk about the one that's premiering.
Chicken and biscuits, baby.
I want some chicken biscuits, some jalapeno pepper. I need my jalapeno pepper. And the biscuits. Maybe some waffles in there.
No, we have Dr. Pepper, red beans, and rice.
Okay.
Okay. So tell us a little bit what's premiering and about the
play Chicken and Biscuits. So first of all, this is the Ensemble Theater's 47th anniversary season. So we do, you know, we've been doing plays a long time. We do 6 plays a year.
Yes.
And so this is the first play that's going to be opening up the season. It's written by Douglas Lyons. It played on Broadway about 3 years ago. And so it was one of the plays there were like 7 or 8 black plays that were playing on Broadway at the same time. So that was it was a huge ordeal for the community.
What were some of the plays that were played at that time?
At that time, oh my goodness. You would ask me that. I'll come back. I'll have to come back because I can't remember like now off the top of my head, but it'll come to me. So Chicken and Biscuits is one that I wanted us to do because it deals with family. It deals with community. It deals with relationships among siblings and couples. It deals with, it's embedded in the church.
Okay.
And it deals with the family grieving and celebrating the patriarch of the family, the grandfather who owned the church.
Okay.
Or who was the head pastor of the church. And so what happens when they get together to celebrate his life?
Okay.
You know, what kind of things happen, and we all know
that it come up.
Yeah, things gonna come up to the surface. Y'all know how that goes.
It's just apparently a hoot, and so it's some really serious hilarity, right?
Yeah, absolutely right. It's
so
a combination
of both. Laughter.
It's both. You can't do life without combining the seriousness of life and the humor of life.
Okay.
That's just the way it is. And so I think that the playwright has done a great job. We have a great cast that will be able to execute those, you know, those kind of dynamics and those moments that are going to be coming through. And some of them are here today.
Yeah. So tell me a little briefly about other things about the ensemble, and then how can they help keep this legacy in the ensemble going?
Great, thank you for that. I appreciate it. So we do main stage shows. We also do have a touring and education program in which we tour plays in the city that are geared toward young people. We go into the schools and we do have residency programs in theater, dance, music, cultural studies, technical theater, so we're able to get into the community and be there with young people and to help shape and form the minds. And then we have a young performers training program for youth ages 6 to 17, and that's where young people can come to the Ensemble Theater and learn all of those skills, you know, that they don't always get so much at school, because now, you know, the arts are not as prominent in schools as they have been.
Is this just a summer program, or
no,
is this
year round? Winter break and spring break and 2 4-week sessions in the summer.
Okay, so it's grooming them.
It's absolutely getting them ready. So that's part of what we do. And then we do film series, we do stage readings, we have comedy shows. We do a variety of things as our alternative programming, so that everybody knows that there are a variety of things that you can do at the Ensemble Theater, because our mantra is the E is for everyone and everyone counts.
That's right. So the ensemble. Now, we're going to come back for a commercial break because we got to pay the bills, all right?
Yes.
So, but then come back. We got a special treat. Guess what? Come back and you find out. The cast is going to act out a scene for us at Chicken Biscuit.
Hi, my name is Michelle J. I am the author of the inspirational journal, Worthy, and I am the owner of MWG Financial Solutions and Tax Services, LLC. And I'm here on the Session Talk Show with Cam Vision 365. I thank you all for having me. It was a pleasure.
When I drove up in that church parking lot today, I was fuming with anger. As I sat in that back pew and took in all your stories. love began to wash all over me, and I felt compelled to speak. But by the time I mustered up enough courage, Beverly liked to kill me. Okay, go. Homies paradise, homies paradise. Homies paradise, homies paradise. What? Kool-Aid with the little ice. Kool-Aid with the little ice. Kool-Aid with the little ice. In homies paradise. We gon' be alright, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright, we gon' be alright. In homies paradise.
If you would turn into your Bibles to 2 Corinthians chapters 4, verses 17 and 18. Verse 17 says, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." Verse 18 says, "So we must fix our eyes, not on what is seen, but what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary and what is unseen is eternal." Woo! Lord, I felt that in my spirit. I'm going to have to say that one more time. "For our light, my God, and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory. So we fix our eyes, not on what is seen, but what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary and what is unseen is eternal." Now I'm going to let y'all ruminate on that thing, and we're going to hop on back. So let's quickly hop over to the book of John, chapters 14, verses 1 and 2. Do not let your heart be troubled. You believe in God, you also believe in me. Verse 2 says, "For in my Father's house there are many rooms. If it were not so, I would not have told you that I'm going to prepare a place for you." You see that? Jesus has already promised us a prepared place. Let me hear you say that, a prepared place. Thank you.
Chicken and Biscuits is running at the Ensemble Theater, 3535 Main Street, now until October 15th. You don't want to miss it.